Okay, before we begin, a quick wee summary of what the North Coast 500 is. It's a roughly 500-mile route around the northwest of Scotland, and it's known to be one of the most beautiful road trips in the UK, if not the world. From a whole lot of mountains to seeing the odd Highland Coo, this trip has got it all. So this video is a quick guide on what you should keep in mind before setting off on the North Coast 500. Like how long to go for, when you should go, and what you should bring, etc, etc. But this is not a what to do video. I have another juicy video all about that for you in the description below. Don't click it just yet though. This video is going to be entertaining. So here are some of the things that I'm going to be covering in this wee film. Some NC 500 tips, which is essentially my way of saying I googled these things before going and I wish I had them all laid out for me where I didn't have to read pages and pages of research. This is that video. You're welcome. So let us begin. How long should you go for? This really depends on personal preference, obviously, but in my opinion you can fit a lot into 7 days. That's a pretty good length. Ideally 10 days if you want to go off route, like we did, but you can do the simplest route in 5 days. It's really up to how much driving you want to do and how much you want to see while you're there. To be honest, I would save it and take a little bit longer because, you know, you're only going to be doing this once. Maybe. Which way round should you go? So we decided that driving east to west would be the best option for us. Why? The scenery on the west coast is a lot prettier than the east coast. So if you don't want to be disappointed by the east coast, which is still really pretty, then I'd recommend going east to west. It's kind of like working your way up on the pretty scale, you know? When should you go? What time of year? We went end of May. It was a pretty good time because while some days were sunny, it wasn't as busy as the summer months get. And one thing I should mention is that this route gets busy. It also meant that the midges weren't quite out yet, and trust me, if you can avoid the midges, avoid the midges. What's the weather like up there? Well, when we went, the weather was a wee bit pash. So another note here. This is definitely the kind of road trip where the weather is 50-50. If Scottish weather was a candy shop, it would be the pick and mix aisle. Never know what you're gonna get. Scotland can be sunny in the morning, raining in the afternoon, and snowing in the evening. It's so unpredictable, just to warn you. That doesn't mean it's not beautiful. You've just got to learn to love the rain and the snow and the cold. And it's just Scotland, you know. What should I bring? Did you not hear me? Sunny, rain, and potentially snow clothes. Be prepped for everything. What else? Walking boots. This is a massive trek destination. It would be a crying shame if you want to do any walking whatsoever. That being said, if you can't walk / hate walking, it's still beautiful to just drive around. But if you're going to walk, bring the right shoes. We saw a lot of people without walking shoes and they got covered in mud and ruined. So yeah, don't be those people. As for in the car, a GPS or Google Maps is fab. Just make sure that you put the directions in when you have Wi-Fi, as there ain't always that sweet 4G. Also, bring insect repellent. As I said, those midges. And you will encounter them at some point, especially in the summer months. Finally, bring a camera. My camera lens broke the first day, but that didn't stop me from snapping all the pics. But to be honest, no picture will ever do justice to some of the sights that you're going to see on this trip. How hard is it to actually drive? It's the most technical driving I think I've ever done, but then again, I'm 23. I've only been driving for 6 years. Basically, it's practically all single lane roads with passing places. So I'd say be pretty advanced at driving before diving into it. If you have, I don't know, a tank or similar, it's going to be very tight, if not impossible. Winnie is a wee camper van, so she handled it pretty well. There's also a notoriously dangerous road on this route, the Bealach na Ba. It's actually advised that only smaller vehicles and capable drivers attempt it. I can confirm it was scary.
No, they just reversed back into the ditch because that's what we need.
But the fog and rain and mildly broken van didn't help. Where can I sleep? So we stayed in campsites the entire time, and there are so many campsites around. We basically selected a few, and because it was just before the high season, we easily just showed up and got a space. The majority of campsites we stayed in were great, because they didn't have specific spaces. It literally was a kind of find a space, go crazy kind of deal. If you're going in June, July, August, or early September, I would book. It saves stress and disappointment. If you want the life of luxury, there's, again, a lot of places. Not as many as campsites though, so I definitely book those in advance all year round. Finally, and I know it's the only reason we're all here, food. All the food. If you can, bring a wee budget for it. I didn't, and I mildly regret it. There was some well tidy scran on this route. You really will get to experience some of the best scran Scotland has on offer. But do your research first. I'll get more into this kind of thing in my other video, which, again, link in the description, and guess what? You can click it now, because this video is just about done. If you have any questions, do ask in the comments below. I'll try and answer. I get into a lot more detail in the Wiildblooms website about the North Coast 500, so there's a link for that in the description if you fancy it. But do give this a like if you found it mildly entertaining or helpful, and subscribe if you want to listen to my terrible Scottish accent again. Cheers, pal!